Hello, this is Thomas, K4SWL. If you're new here, I like to do real-time, real-life amateur radio field activation videos. And today I'm at Holmes Educational State Forest again. It's looking like maybe for the next 2 school terms, this may be a really great place for me to come play radio. I actually have a lot on my schedule these days, and I hadn't planned to film an activation today. I was just going to come in and experiment with an antenna. But I had the camera in the car and I thought, well, why not go ahead and do a video? I don't always do activation videos of every single activation I do. But I like doing them. And at the moment, I should have published a video this morning. And today is September 1st, Friday, September 1st. So I'm sure you're probably watching this sometime in October. But, I've just had so much going on. I didn't even have time to put up my field report and do a video or anything. Just didn't have time. And today I thought I'd come and take a look up here at the picnic shelter. I meant to stop by the office and ask if this was reserved. I don't see a reserve sign on it right now. I don't actually know that I want to set up here, but I thought it'd be a nice option maybe. Because I'm not sure that my antenna that I plan to deploy today would make sense to use here. So I wanted to scope it out and see what the trees look like around it. Okay, let's see. I could make this work, but I pretty much have to use one of these trees right here up against the building. I'm not so sure I want to do that because the type of antenna I'm using today takes up some space. We can hear lots of emergency vehicles go by. I'm trying to get spiderwebs out of my face too. Oh golly. Yeah, I don't think I want to set up here. I think this would be a nice spot. It's very inviting, very nice, but for this particular antenna, I'll have very little flexibility with it, so I'm not sure. It is tempting. I don't know, it's early enough in the day that if a school group was coming here, they could just show up. And they do have the lights on in here. And normally I don't think they do. So I tell you what, I'm going to skip the idea of setting up here. It's just not ideal for the antenna I want to do today, because the antenna that I'm trying today is a 20-meter vertical delta loop antenna. Those are not low-profile antennas in a sense. It's low-profile in that you can't see it very easily when it's deployed, not with the type of wire this one uses. But it has a wide footprint. It really does have a wide footprint, and so not ideal in a spot like this, especially if I want to rotate it a bit or something. I think I'll go back down here and maybe set up, might even set up at the last place that I used, because I think it may give me the most flexibility to turn the antenna. These vertical loops probably have some directionality at 20 meters. I'm not quite sure, to be honest. I think they have, more, I think you can steer the signal a little bit better when you have, when you're on the lower bands, maybe, with the loop antennas. I don't know, but I am going to set it up broadside to east and west, roughly, if I can. I'll take out my compass and just kind of take a look. It's quiet here this morning, though. I don't want to use that spot. It's reserved for people with disabilities and stuff. Wheelchair access. This is not a bad spot right here, but I would be taking up a few picnic tables if I set up here. So I'm bringing you along for this site assessment, but what I'm looking for with this is I need some space so these delta loops, they take up space this way. You know, it's like a triangle you know, that's vertical. And you have to be able to suspend the apex of it so that you can turn it around and deploy it. This will take me a while to deploy. I normally don't edit my things, you know me, I don't edit my videos very much, but I'll probably end up editing this down for the deployment because it's probably going to take me a while to deploy this. Let's see. This would definitely work here. I could make this work. I think Vlado and I, when we set up for field day, we actually set up right there at that table. I think this may work. I'm not exactly sure how tall the apex of the antenna will be, how high it'll be. But this is a pretty nice open spot, nice limbs up there to hang it on, and I am pretty darn sure I can make this work. We'll give it a go. We'll give it a go and see. The picnic tables here are like full of moss and stuff. I'll probably end up setting on my hat here or something. Okay, let's get stuff out. Deploy this tripod. I'll show you the antenna. Now this antenna, so I plan to build a 20-meter delta loop, and I've done it before, but I haven't done it for POTA or SOTA, but I plan to do it. And then my buddy Joshua with Tufton, he contacted me and he was like, hey, I'm sending you he was messing with a delta loop antenna too, so he just made one. So I thought, well, we'll just use this one. Now, I think he has cut it to resonance. I hope so. Yeah, I hope he's got it. That's Tufton right there. Let's see. I have not deployed this, haven't used it at all. So there's a little toroid here that's wound, and it's pretty simple. There's a lot of wire in it because, you know, it's a loop. We'll see. I hope that's high enough to make this work. I'm not sure how I'm going to feed it yet, if I'm going to feed it from the corner or from the middle of the bottom or what, but this will take some time to deploy. I did bring, I may have to go back to the car to get it. I will have to go back to the car to get it. I brought some stakes and some line to separate the bottom of the antenna and stake it into the ground. I need to go back and get that. I'll be right back. I'm back from the car, and I just brought this. These are some stakes I use actually to guy down one of my, what is it called? My tactical mini pole from soda beams. It's way more cord than I'll need, of course, but should do the job for what I'm doing right now. Okay, I'm gonna start this antenna deployment again. Probably not gonna show you this whole thing because a lot of it is gonna be me just kind of trying to sort out how to do it. The way I'd like to orient the antenna, by the way, is this way. So like broadside to the camera here. And that's roughly a northeasterly direction, which I kind of think would get me sort of toward the east and sort of toward the west, the southwest, but the northeast could potentially get me into Europe, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what propagation's like today, and it's a little early for 20 meters, so we'll have to see. But anyway, here we go. I'll try to sort this out, figure out how to do it. It's going to take me a while. I'll probably speed this up. Yeah, I got this really where I want it. I'm just curious if the height's going to be enough. I shot it much higher into the tree than where I needed to go, but at the same time, the lowest branch really that has, because of the branches that come out, really the lowest branch is the highest that I can make it go, even though, you know, I've got it a good 15 feet higher than this is. So we'll just have to see. I haven't pulled out this antenna yet to see how much wire is in this, but I have deployed 20-meter loops in the past, so I think I know roughly where it's going to be. So let's find out. Whoops, there goes the toroid. Very clever. I see how he did this too. He put 2 spots on there to attach the loop. That makes a lot of sense. I see how he did this now. Okay, so interesting. Okay, I think I know how to do this. It's gonna take me a bit. I'm going to attach this to the middle of the wire. I have to think this through a bit. I keep this loose, yet I don't want it to just roll everywhere. Leave it like that. And in fact, I'll go ahead and pull this up a little bit just to get more of the wire off the ground. Okay, that's what I didn't want to happen. I don't want these to tangle. Pull this back down a little bit. There we go. There we go. Okay. Okay, I can do this. I see how we can do this now. This is going to work, I think. There we go. Now, I just need to stake out the ends of it using a couple of stakes and a couple of these lines. Again, this is way more line than I need for this, but it'll do the job. Actually, I may be able to completely dispense with the stakes and just tie this off to trees. It's so easy to do. Okay, I need to adjust again. Okay. You know, it didn't take as long as I thought it would, actually. Let's try to take the camera out here and show you what I did. Sorry, I'll have to put up this tripod. I'll show you sort of how I did this and the shape of it. It'll be really hard to visualize on the camera. But you see here where the feed point is. Now, Joshua's really clever in that he used these S-hooks for strain relief, and then you plug these little tiny banana plugs into the base of it, which goes into this toroid. I don't know what the value of that is. I'll have to ask him if it's a 9-to-1 or a what. I have no idea. And there's a BNC on the bottom I'll connect to. Now the idea is I wanted this to be sort of in the middle of the triangle of the delta. So let's step back and I'll try to show you how this looks. So that's the bottom. It goes all the way out there to that line where that tree is, all the way up to, where is the top? The top is right there. You know what? I kind of want that a little higher, I think. I want that a little higher. I may readjust it. But anyway, that's the apex. I want the apex to be a little higher. So I'm going to readjust this a little bit. And then it goes down over to this tree. So this is going to I'll have to loosen up this end over here to make this work. And then this is basically going in a northeast-southwest direction, broadside to the loop. So let me adjust this one more time here. And I think we'll be on the air. I didn't realize how, I forgot that I hadn't changed this. And I don't want the delta to be that flat. I want it to be taller than it is wider. I want it to be more like a equilateral triangle, I guess. Wow, I'm pulling out some geometry from many years ago. Let's go ahead and give this a go here. And hopefully you'll be able to see some of this. Excuse me. So I need to loosen up this side over here. Give it a little more flexibility. I can actually hold this as I pull up the antenna. see what I got to do here. Tie this. There we go. That's about where I want it, and I'm going to use my weight to hold it down. So I'm going to grab this weight and use it to hold down the antenna, or to put tension on it to hold it up, actually. That's what I'm going to do. There we go. Now I'm ready to hook up. And now we'll have to see if it tunes. So you can see I've got the bottom of the antenna, the feed point at the bottom. This is actually not, I'm remembering now, you know what? I think the last Delta loop I deployed was at my house, a vertical Delta loop. And it was a 40-meter one, which is just, you know, much bigger, like 2 times bigger than this. This is very manageable in the field. Now, I will say, this is not an ideal space for it in some respects. There's a lot of stuff on the ground. You see all this, like these sticks and everywhere. I've had to really kind of negotiate these because the line, your antenna wire wants to get caught in all that as you're doing this. And you really need to keep the antenna separated as you work on it so it doesn't twist and do all kinds of other things. So, yeah, we'll see how this works, though. I have no idea. We'll see how it works, though. And I'm not sure what the radiation pattern is for a Delta Loop antenna when it's fed from the middle, which is basically what I'm doing here. So we'll find out together. Here we go. Okay, let's see. I just need to attach the line. I got this nice ABR line. And I'm going to put the, I don't know if this is the right thing to do, but I'm going to put the choke at the antenna side. There we go. So I put there's an inline RF choke on this cable. We'll give this a go. Man, it took a little bit of setup time, didn't it? But I threatened not to film it, and frankly, I probably shouldn't have. I don't know how keen people are just to sit there and watch me struggle with an antenna for the first time, but hey. Take these things out of my pockets. We're going to use the KX2 for this activation. Why? Just because. I just like it. It's what I had in the bag too. Again, thank you, Terry, for the wind camp. The wind camp rails here on the side, or the side panels. I really appreciate that. Let's see. What else do I need to grab? I'm going to get a key. Probably use my SP4s again. I love these keys. I love this key. There we go. And I think I've got enough juice in the battery, I hope. If I don't, this is an uncomfortable picnic table to get into. People don't use these picnic tables like ever. And because of that, like the ground's actually, they're sinking into the ground, so you're at a really weird angle perched here when you try to sit down in the on the picnic table. People just don't use these a whole lot here at Holmes. So it's like there's like a mound underneath this picnic table. Okay, key, got that plugged in. Now here comes the part I don't know about. Will this be resonant on 20 meters? Got to bypass the ATU if it isn't already. ATU's on auto, bypass mode. Oh, that's fantastic. I've got a 1-to-1. Okay, perfect. Okay. Good. Okay. And we'll see how it performs. I'm not hearing a ton on the bands today. I have no way to really check to see where people are on the bands because I don't have good cell phone coverage out here. Let's see here. Boy, look how messy this is. Look how messy this is. I've got to look up the park number here. I think it's 48 something. You know what? I have it in my other notebook. I came ill prepared today. To be honest, I've been just a mess lately. Been running around back and forth to Hickory. My mom's had some health issues and she's been in the hospital, and I've been worried about her. Maybe 4856, that's it. And so I've been going back and forth kind of between houses, and when I do that I just get a little disorganized. Tonight I've got a lot going on too. Let's see, what do I have? What do I have going on today? Well, my daughters are at school. I'm going to pick them up a little bit later. I have a Ham Radio Workbench podcast episode to film tonight, or to record tonight. So I'm putting on some bug spray. I'll try the low octane bug spray first, the non-DEET kind. It's not too bad out here right now, but I have seen a couple of mosquitoes flying around. Okay, 4856. Holmes Educational State Forest, and today is the 1st of September. So yeah, tonight is Ham Radio Workbench podcast recording, which I'm looking forward to. Tomorrow morning, very early, I'm getting up to meet Vlado N3CZ. We are going to go to the Shelby Ham Fest, and I've got taking a few things with me to sell. I'll probably sell my ICOM IC703 Plus. I haven't been using it a lot, and I've thought about it long and hard, and I think I'm going to sell it. I may regret that, but yeah, it's one of the radios I just haven't used a whole lot. It has a lot of charm. I really like it. I know there are a lot of fans of that radio, but I don't know why. It's not really floating my boat as much. Just have a really nice built-in ATU. I've had a lot of fun with it in the field. It's got a good keyer in it. But it'll make somebody else happier than I am right now, I think. As if I can sell it there. Lately at Hamfest, it looks like people walk away, the vendors walk away with just as much stuff as they came with. So I'm not so sure it's going to make a huge difference. Okay, let's see. Let me take a couple pictures while I think about it. One thing about having all this moss on the tables, it's very aesthetically pleasing to me. It shows that this picnic table doesn't get a lot of love, though. Okay, let's pull up hammers. HAM, RS, whoops. Here we go. New log. At K-48. Is it 56? 56. I'll start to know that better by the end of the year. After I've done a bunch more 01. I've done a bunch more activations here. Save this. And then I'm going to put KX2 up here as a placeholder. I did schedule this activation today. In fact, not only did I scheduled it with a really wide time frame because I wasn't sure when I would be here, if it'd be earlier in the day or later. So I set a really wide one. So now it'll show one QSO, but during the time that I'm doing my activation, I'll actually get rid of that QSO. Okay, now just need to get going. So we're about to hit the 15-hour mark, so I won't write down the time yet. Okay, we'll see if anybody's out there and if this 20-meter delta loop works. Now, one thing about vertical delta loop antennas is typically you can't tune them easily to other bands. They're really a monoband antenna. You can tune them, but they can be a little challenging to tune. Like you may, by tune, I just mean match the impedance when you go off of the resonant band. Oh, good. Oh, good. Can you see this? That's awesome. So my very first contact was a park-to-park in Quebec with a call sign I know. Nice way to break in the antenna. Okay, wait. Five 529. Oh, that's it. VE2. VE2AW. Is that right? VE2AW instead of F2AW. Okay, so let me change that. I think I got that right. I have no way to check this, like I said, in the, well, it was a French language station, right? Okay. I'm gonna get the WA call first. Okay, got him. Okay. I should have sent him a different, his tone is really wobbly, probably because his power supply is a little weak. Maybe not enough voltage. Oh, there's somebody so far down in the noise there. I can't hear them at all right now, if that's even someone for me right now. Oh wow, okay, cool. Okay. Okay. Oh. Okay. Did I hear an R? Okay, got him. He's coming up a little bit. Good to get you in the logs again. Oh, that's a park to park. Sorry, it's a mosquito. I wonder if you saw him. Well, we've got our 10. We got 13 right now. This antenna's performed really well, and it's picking up like Texas and Oklahoma, which is sort of the way I've got it pointed. Okay. Towards Texas. That's a bee. WMQ, getting that in. And now K0WT. Okay, we'll walk over to the other side here. Mosquitoes are all around me. There aren't that many. It's just, they're just annoying. And I can't grab them while I'm keying. We will try 17 meters. I'll see if this ATU can find an impedance match. Okay, I'm sorry I can't hear you, and I've got to spray these annoying mosquitoes down. That's not the same person that's there. One mosquito gone. Okay. I'm sorry, I just can't hear you right now. But try again, please. You're fading completely away if you're there. Gotcha. I really want to get you AI5LC question mark. Okay, here, KK7. I'm gripping the key way too hard. It's making me miss key. This is actually an awesome key. Nebraska. Oh no, there's some There's somebody. I think that person just jumped on frequency and started calling CQ, so we'll see. If they don't move, I'll move. In fact, I'm ready to move up to the 17 meter band now to see if it'll tune. It may not tune. If not, I'll just call QRT. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and answer him. Because that other station's just so low, I can't hear them right now. Okay. Oh, there we go. My good friend Brian. Yeah, QSB. I'm not really, well, maybe I'm kind of pointed this way, I don't know. You can hear how this, he's losing it there a little bit. Okay, let's go ahead and move. And here's what we got to do. Okay, so first of all, very pleased with this. Very, very pleased with this. And it does look like that pointing it the way I did. So I got up into Quebec at the very beginning a couple times, into New England and down into Texas, Oklahoma. And then I got some in Missouri, Nebraska, Minnesota, which was, you know, but I'm wondering if it is a bit directional. I need to ask tonight when I hop on the Ham Radio Workbench podcast, because I'm sure that George or Mark will know the answer to that, or Mike, or basically anybody but me. So I've got to ask them either during the show or before the show about that. But golly, this is a lot of fun. Now, here's the deal. Like I said, vertical loop antennas are monoband, but I'm curious if maybe I can get a match on this, and then let's kick in the ATU. I'll have to have that for sure. And let's just see if I can maybe get... Well, I got a match. And 5 watts out. We'll give it a go and see. Excuse me. We'll see what happens. I don't think it'd do well below 20 meters though. It would be, the efficiency of that would taper off super quickly. Excuse me. This is excuse me. This stuff is actually really good normally. And I watch and the mosquitoes like get really close to me, but they won't actually like land on me. But this stuff you have to really kind of really cover yourself. But what I like is it doesn't mess with things like my watch face or something like DEET. When you get that on things like plastic and acrylic and stuff, it kind of interacts with it. I don't like that. I don't like putting it on my clothes too much. This stuff I don't mind putting on my clothes. Now I usually do keep also like my hiking trousers or we say pants here in the US, but people giggle when I say it in the States or in the UK. But like when I got my hiking gear that I put on, including my boots, I usually cover those in permethrin. But you don't want permethrin on your skin. You only want it on your clothing and maybe your shoes and socks, and then you let it dry and you don't put it on your skin. You'd never want it on there wet. It'd be fun to get at least one contact here. I mean, it's radiating. But if you didn't have a matching unit, there's no way you'd get it to do anything, I think, on any other band. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but okay. Oh, come on. Don't tune up on me. Okay, gotcha. Okay, got you. Got you. Sorry about sorry, I copied right on top of you there. KB5 FCF. Gotcha. Should have brought my water out here. I'll have to cut this here pretty soon. I will go and just tune through the bands and see if I can actually tune up, out of curiosity, if it'll match on the higher bands. But I'm not going to go much longer here. I need to leave, go grab some lunch. I've got to go by REI, may go visit Blotto real quick as we prepare for a really early morning start for the Shelby Ham Fest. My head's not in it right now. I've got so much stuff going on that it's hard for me to concentrate. Not here. Actually, I'm in the moment here, and this is always really nice. As I always say, it's radiotherapy for me to come out here. So I made 2 contacts on 17 meters. That's great. So now let's move up. And out of curiosity, I'm not going to actually call CQ. I'm just going to tune and see if the KX2 ATU can find an impedance match here. Whoops, not filter. We already got a 2 to 1, 1 to 5. Yeah, it's going to do it. 1 to 1. Look at that. Man, this thing is amazing. So another time I come out here, I am going to make sure I'm not on top of anyone. Okay, yellow jacket. That was a little harder for it, but it still did it. 1 to 1. Okay, let's go up to the 10 meter band. I'm going to go to like 0.2 again, so I'm not tuning up on somebody, but let's see. And a 1 to 1. Out of curiosity, I don't think this is going to work. It does work. Wow, it's a 1 to 1 match on 10 meters, which would make sense in a way. It's a harmonic of 20, but I've always been under the impression that, oh, but you know what? There is a matching unit on this. I'm not used to using matching units. I'm used to using a vertical delta loop antenna with fed with ladder line and no matching unit other than, and in fact that's it, no matching unit. I just make it resonant for one band. This has a matching unit on the antenna, so I'm curious how far off it is here when I move to, like, say, it's way off there too. I'm sure it'll definitely be off on 17 meters as well. Yeah, way off. So yeah, okay, so this is actually naturally resonant at 20 and 10 meters. That is really good to know. Oh, let's call CQ on 10 meters just a little bit, and then we'll call it quits here. I don't hear any activity at all, so this is going to be pretty futile probably, but let's just go for it anyway. So again, don't expect anything out of this right here, but we'll go for it anyway. I need to take a few photos, and I'll just, why not call CQ while I'm taking photos? It'd be fun to work somebody on 10 meters, but I don't know if the band's there today for that. I'm gonna have to, like, actually mark up an image of the delta loop so you can see it in the trees, because you can't really see this. Joshua, man, this is a great design, I think, for this loop. This is about as easy. When you get much more than a 20 meter delta loop, if you're in the woods, it's a little harder to deploy it just because it needs more space. Like a 40 meter delta loop is a pretty big delta loop. Now you could do this horizontally, of course, and I think it'd be a great multi-band antenna with an ATU and probably really nice omnidirectional properties, but it would require putting up 3 lines in a tree, in trees, and then finding trees that are spaced just enough for all that to work. That would be a tough call. That would be a really tough one. It'd be really, I should say, for a field day, I would totally do that. I wouldn't do that for just a park activation where I'm only going to be there like maybe an hour, because it'd take me, I mean, I really would like somebody else to be with me, because you're having to pull up 3 different points almost simultaneously. You'd really have to have your trees spaced out just right, or have 3 separate tactical poles that you put up. I mean, it'd be a lot of work for just that, and probably not needed. Now, this is making me realize, though, that this vertical, 20 meter vertical delta loop would be a killer on a soda summit. I bet you this thing would work the world. I'm really sorry to this AI5 station. I think there was I'm pretty sure I heard some semblance of a character after your C there. And I'm sorry I couldn't work you. You were really, really, really down in the noise. I was hoping I'd hear you come back up again, because I would have liked to have worked you park to park, but my apologies for that. The only reason I went on to N0AIE is because it was just so low. And I'm pretty sure that N0AIE had no idea that I was probably trying to work somebody else. Okay, just a little bit longer, and then I'm going to call quits here. I'm also not going to show putting up the antenna this time because my battery's almost dead on my camera. We've been going here for 71 minutes. Wow. But I'll stand back. We'll take another look at the antenna, how I've got it deployed, and just kind of admire the thing. This works really nicely. It was easier to put up than I thought it would be. It does help having trees that you can tie off to, as opposed to just using ground stakes. Ground stakes work really well, but you do have to have them coming off at a diagonal off the edges of the loop, and you want the loop elevated a little. Like, you don't want it doesn't have to be like way up in the trees, but you want it elevated a little bit. Okay, we'll call it quits here. That was fun to do it anyway. Good little radio. I love my KX2. Okay, let's see if I can get out of this awkward place. Let's put up this tripod real quick. We'll go take another look at this. So you probably can't see it here on the camera, but there's like a mound of dirt underneath. And it actually pushes up, so your legs are like, you actually have almost no leg room under this picnic table, which makes it a little awkward for sitting. Would you look at this mushroom? I've just been sitting here admiring this thing while I've been activating. That is not one you'd want to make soup with, though. Pretty sure that's poisonous. Before I walk straight into this antenna, see, this line is so easy to... just disappears, really. But you see how he did this. He has this, I'll have to find out what the winding is. Oh, I should add, I don't know if Josh was planning to sell these or not with Tufton. I wouldn't be surprised. He tends to experiment, and if he likes it, he'll make products for it. But man, I gotta say, this is really convenient. I was going to just make one using some window line or something like that and bring it out. Window line's problematic. First of all, you can't really feed it. You know, window line's not like coax. You can't just have it like laying on the ground and stuff. It's better to do at home when you have window line. And it interacts with anything metal you have around you. There are a lot of issues with it. This right here, I like how he has a matching unit on it to make it very easy to for it to be resonant on both 20 and 10 meters, and then so easy to match on those other bands in between. I bet you the KX2 ATU could probably make this work on 30, maybe 40. I don't know. I didn't try that. But when you're doing that, it's really, really, really inefficient. Doesn't mean it's not efficient enough to work somebody if it happens to make a match. But you're not actually tuning the antenna. You're just matching the impedance, making your transceiver happy is all you're doing. So you're not getting as much effective power, even if you get a 1-to-1 match on 40 meters with a 20 meter loop antenna. But this is really clever. I like this. And so yeah, I used this line here as weight to hold up the apex of the antenna right there. And so this puts just enough pressure on it that I can adjust it a little bit, and I don't need to tie it off permanently to something. Over on this side, you can see the other end of the antenna, which is up here. And it looks like it's up higher, but the ground slopes down here. So this is actually almost flattish on the bottom. It bends in a little bit where it's being pulled down in the middle, but by and large, this is a really nice kind of vertical loop. And on this end, of course, it's also up here. But this wasn't too hard to do. Now, there are no standoffs or anything like that. I don't think I'd really want them on this antenna. Like, you could 3D print like little places to tie into. Personally, I don't want that because it's just going to be another thing that I have to wind up, and I don't want it there. and you'd have to like position it. This, just using some line and doing this, super easy. And it'll just glide through there. Like I can reform the antenna just by moving it around like that. So I prefer not having, you know, any kind of like point that I'm tying off to, like as a standoff or something. So I'll step back here again and kind of just point out how the antenna looks. I'm doing my best here. Let me keep my glasses on so I can see this as I talk. But really, the top of the antenna is about right there. And then it goes all the way down here. Am I looking at that right? Yep. And right there. And then all the way over there. Yeah, I love this. I'll be using it more. This would actually be a great antenna to take with one of my monoband radios like the QCX Mini. That would be a great antenna to take with that. Because I have a hunch it's pretty reliably resonant. I'll try it in some other places and we'll find out. Anyway, I should stop rambling here. I just want to thank you so much for coming out here today with me. We're the only people here. I should have had, there's another reason I didn't use the shelter up here, is those fluorescent lights are on over there, and I suspect that those things are probably making some noise, so I didn't really want to put it there. Speaking of noise, though, that is another really good thing about loop antennas like this, is they are a little more resilient to noise, like QRM and things that are around you. And in fact, this one is pointing basically directly toward a QRM source. There's like a farm just on the other side of this hill over here. And I've mentioned this before about this particular park, that I've had antennas up here before and I've gotten some noise from there. And it's one of the reasons I thought about bringing the 20 meter Delta Loop out today at this particular park. This one and Lake James are two parks where I'll sometimes have QRM. Most of the others I don't, but these two can sometimes have it depending on whatever they're doing over there at the farm. So this is another great reason to use a Delta Loop antenna, is they are a little bit better with mitigating noise. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm glad I did a video after all. I wasn't going to do it. Like I said, my life's been a little stressful, a little crazy lately. We've had so much going on, a lot of good things, and then also my health of my parents has not been that great. And so I've been back and forth to my hometown a lot and just kind of worried about them and checking in on them. But right now things are fairly stable. I've got some good things coming up. Like I said, the Ham Radio Workbench podcast recording tonight, and then Shelby Ham Fest tomorrow, and then I'm off to take care of my parents again on Sunday, I think. So yeah, not a lot going on. But anyway, that's why we come out here and do a little bit of radiotherapy, right? It just clears my head so better than anything else. And I appreciate you coming along with me today. This is the weirdest thing. I was watching a video, probably last week, and it's just some kind of random YouTube channel. I have no idea who they are. It popped up, but this guy was out camping, and evidently he does a channel, you know, about camping. And someone had asked him, you know, if he gets lonely when he's going out on, you know, week-long camping trips or whatever. And he said, you know, the funny thing is, when I'm using my camera and I'm planning to put a video up on YouTube, I feel like you're there with me. And that is exactly how I feel. I've always felt that way. I feel like someone's with me. I feel like you're there with me. And when I talk to people and they talk about an activation I've done or something and make comments about it, I kind of feel like they were there with me, you know, like they experienced it with me. So thank you for coming along. I always say that, but I really do appreciate you coming along for the ride here and testing this antenna, playing a little bit of radio, and having a good time in the great outdoors. Anyway, take care of one another, take care of yourselves and your family and your friends. If you get a chance to help a new ham radio operator, please use the opportunity to do so, because it makes a really big difference. We are a community of people who mentor each other. We are our own ambassadors here in this pastime, and it's good if you can just help others out that are trying to learn the ropes, because it can be a little complicated and a little daunting. So I really appreciate you coming along for the ride today. Take care, and until next time, 7 3s.